Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe and like my channel if you like my content. And let's get straight to my 10 tips, how I save money, 10 ways, my secret I shared with you today. So what motivated me to save money was I really wanted to move out, and I really wanted to show my friends and family that you can do it even though you don't make enough a good money in your job. So for example, I don't really want to talk about my job, but I had a job as a waitress, for example, and for me it was hard to make a good money, especially I didn't have a car and stuff. And I had friends, they had way more money, they had better jobs than me, and they had less money on the bank account than me. So it was like, I really tried hard to like stick to a routine where I could save some money, and I'm gonna share my tips right now with you. So the first tip is I stopped eating out during a week that I used to eat, where I used to eat every single day out. I used to eat every day out for lunch with my friend, my best friend, and twice a day. It became a routine, and I realized how much money I spent. I look at my bank account and oh boy, I probably spent more than I made a day for eating out. It can like add up easily, Panera bread here, something, stop by McDonald's, then while you're going to work, then when you come back, dinner with your friend or with your loved one, whatever, and it added up. Okay, it was like every week like $100 or even more, $200 for just eating out. It was just insane. Number two, I stopped going out every weekend with friends to bars drinking. Yes, it added up a lot to buy every time when we went to a friend's house. We stayed at home, but we went out when we would like buy big case of Corona, or we would buy wine or something like this, alcohol beverage, and it would add up because we would go out every single weekend. Like during the week we would go out to a party, like to a friend would invite us to barbecue, whatever. We would always bring some either some food or some alcohol with us, and most of the times the friends would say, "Oh, bring something to drink with us, with you guys." And then so we would bring to the house like a fancy nice wine, and then we would spend money on the wine or the beer or whatever, and then we would still go out with them in the nighttime, go out partying. We would spend on cab, on like Uber. We would spend on go inside the club, and then for the drinks inside the club, and this would add up so much every single weekend. This was crazy because there was a time in my life I partied a lot, I stopped drinking completely, thank God, but back then I was drinking every single week, and this was not good for my wallet, believe me. Number three. Okay, so I saved, I know this sounds funny, but every time I would have pennies and coins, I would stack them up in a jar or something, and I used to give it away. But then I was thinking, I guess it's not so much money in there. I was thinking maybe like in a big jar like this will be maybe not more than $10. But then once I went to the Coinstar machine, this big Coinstar machine in Walmart or something, I exchanged these coins and pennies that I like was sitting there for a year on my in my closet or whatever, and I exchanged it, and then guess what? It came out like this big of jar of coins in my jar. I mean, so many coins in my jar. This jar was this big, was like $60, for example. I was like, what? And I could just go, literally, I went with this money grocery shopping. So this was a big help for me. If your friends don't want pennies or coins, just tell them, okay, just give it to me. That's fine, Yeah, that was a huge tip for me. Number 4. Okay, when you go grocery shopping, always watch the price tag, and and try to eat organic, and see what's on sale. It's like buying less food because it gets wasted. So let me explain it a little bit to you. So when I went grocery shopping with my friend, I realized that the person never watched the prices for. He would get a spaghetti, or I don't know, like something to drink. The first thing he would do, he would just grab whatever he needed. He didn't even check the name, the brand. He didn't check if it's organic or no. He didn't check if it's the price. I'm like, what? You paying for spaghetti $3.39, and there's a spaghetti, if you would just look more down, there's a spaghetti for 99 cents, literally. So that's a big plus. And if you want to be more healthy, what I recommend is if you go for a good price, but if you see on the ingredients for the item that you want to buy, for example, to create healthy meals, organic things, like think about tomato pasta, but an organic version that is maybe not as expensive, but it's a fair price, like think this way. And it's better to buy budget friendly but healthy meals, and it's better to buy a few things. I always used to over buy things. Like I would go to shopping and I would not create a list, and I would just buy random things that I felt like I want to eat. When I would go back home, I could not create any kind of meal because those things didn't match together. So write down a list before you go grocery shopping, okay? So you will exactly know what to buy. For example, you want to do spaghetti. So what do you need to do spaghetti and you need tomato sauce and maybe some chicken or some veggies. So write it on a list, and when you go shopping, you are having a budget friendly and healthy meal, and you don't buy all this junk food like I used to do all the time. Number 5, unsubscribe to all addictive clothing websites, and then you are less tempted to shop. For example, when you go shopping and Misguided or whatever, they always ask you, subscribe to our email list, and you usually do it, right, to get some sales. But then they end up bombarding you with all those emails, and you're like just going nuts trying to delete all those emails from your list, right, from your email list. But if you go to when you open the email and you go to there's a tiny little text, and when you go there, you can usually unsubscribe to this email list. So say goodbye to all this big shopping companies that they are bombarding you with shopping lists anyway. So yeah, that's a big tip. So the less you see, the less you will be tempted to go shopping and spend your money. Or even watching videos and things like this, to unsubscribe all these channels that you don't even watch, because it's just less tempting to spend your time online, and instead go out with your friends and do something with your family, loved ones, or studying, learning. Number 6 is do not open 100 credit cards. You just can have one card. Don't overspend. Okay, so what I mean by this tip is, I have it all written down here. That's why if it looks weird that I'm looking this way, it's because I'm reading it. So do not open 100. My leg hurts. So do not open 100 credit cards. I have a friend that she was telling me, the more cards the better, but this is not true. I have one card and I'm happy. I think you just need one credit card and one debit card, and that's all you need. The more credit cards you have, the more you think you can spend, the more you get then into debit, and this is not good. Sometimes less is more, and you don't really need 100 credit cards, because when we know that we can spend with this credit card $5,000, you just keep swiping it and swiping it and swiping it, and you're like, wait, you're forgetting that this is actually borrowed money. This is not your real money that you have on the bank. The bank is borrowing you the money. So if it means you have 5,000 on your bank account, doesn't mean you can spend as much, because you have to pay it back. So where's the point of spending all that money, you know? I think even rich people, they don't do it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be rich, you know? So don't overspend your credit card money. Save it for a future. Save it for your house. Save it for a car or whatever you need. Insurance, whatever. So don't just keep using it like it's no big deal, like a napkin, you know, that you use it and throw away once. Don't open so many. Number 7. We are almost done, people. 3 more. So number 7, buy used car or older new version of car, and ask yourself, do you really need the newest car? Okay, so I know so many of my friends, they want like the best car, a new car. That's what they are dreaming of. Everybody dreams of the nice, beautiful, luxurious car, but they don't think about, okay, can I afford this car? How much is the insurance gonna be? Do I have money for the insurance? Do I have money for the gas the car is eating? I had so many friends in the past. They wanted so badly like a BMW, and they got it, or like a very nice Porsche or Mustang or whatever, but they could not keep up with the car. They ended up walking to the places or like using people's car, because they could not afford the gas that the car was eating, because they were always broke, because they had to like every day they need like $70 just to fill up the tank from the car, which was insane. But for example, I got a used car, or like a newer version from an older car. I don't know if you get me, but make sure that when you buy a used car, it looks clean, it's not too old, and it's in a good good price, and a good like shape, I would say. Make sure it's running well and things like this, but it's still, reliable. Don't just go there and buy a used car that is falling apart, because then you have to spend more for this car to fix it, And then you can use it for 1-2 years, and after 2 years you can buy your dream car, It's not like you cannot buy your dream car. It's just like use first the things that you can afford, and then you can, once you can afford the other things, then you can buy something nice, I'm not saying don't buy anything new. I'm just saying, like, ask yourself if you really need it right now, if it's necessary, if you can afford it, okay? Make a checklist. Be patient, okay? Number 8, get a small apartment. Yes, I see too many people buying the first big house, big apartment, and they just work to keep up the apartment, like just to keep the apartment. And I don't see people actually thinking like, okay, I make this money and I barely spent time in this apartment that I pay so much for. So where is the point of having a huge apartment? You're just one person, you're working your ass off the 10 hours a day just to go home, eat and sleep, and go to work just to afford the apartment. This doesn't click with me. So if you're one person, it's fine if you just rent a small apartment for 1 room or 2 rooms. That's it, You don't need anything crazy, or you can even rent just a room to save up, and then you just buy a house. Things like this. That's what it's important to me, and I hope I can help you out with these things that I'm saying over here. And when you get your apartment, make sure this apartment you feel comfortable in, and be patient. In 2 years, you're gonna make enough money. You can buy something bigger and better, and I just really don't see the point to buy a big apartment and you don't spend any time in this apartment anyway. You spend just working for this apartment, for this house. I know so many people, they have huge houses, they have swimming pools, everything, but they barely use it because they're always constantly just working for it. Like, hello, people, like, wake up. Where's the point of having all this if you cannot use this? Because you don't have time for it. So sometimes it's better maybe make less money or have something smaller or simpler, and be happy and enjoy what you have, you know. Number 9, stop going to the mall. Yes. What did you say? Stop going to the mall. Yes. I started to buy online, which is so much easier nowadays. And then you're more focused what you want to buy, I would say. When you make a list, you go on Amazon, whatever, eBay, and then you just buy a few things. If you go to the mall, you like spending so much time walking around. Every time I go to the mall, I used to love to go to the mall. Nowadays, not anymore so much because it's always crowded with people. I always spend more than I supposed to spend. I buy things that I don't really need. And I spend time so much walking around and finding the stores. I don't know if you have the same problems as me in the mall, like you walking around like in circles. It's like an exercise. You can use it for exercising, you know. That's a good exercise, actually. If you walk around in the mall like 5 times around, you can still find H&M or Forever 21. Then you're like, you know, then you spend like 3 hours there just trying to find for your store that you're trying to buy something in. I'm always used to do this with my friend. We were laughing every single time because it was just hilarious. We walked, we looked at the plan, we couldn't find the stores. It was just ridiculous, and we spent so much like time, and we just buy unnecessary crap, I would say. So avoid them to going to the mall. Number 10 is get furniture from friends and family. I don't say bed mattress or something like this. Okay, bed frame, yes. I wouldn't go for like mattress and stuff, but I would go for like maybe if you have somebody that want to get rid of a table, don't be ashamed to ask, because it's on the end it's your friends or family, you know, or your neighbor. You know those people. It's not like you're going to a stranger, you know. You know that they are clean people. You know that this furniture still looks good. Maybe it matches your apartment. Why not? I mean, if it's your first apartment, don't be ashamed to ask. Or like maybe so many times my friends and family, they ask me if I want a shirt they never wore, or nice shoes they bought and was too small, but they are too lazy to return it. I'm like, yes, why not? Because it's new anyways. They barely used it. I know those people. It's not like I'm going there and getting it from strangers. And I like their styles, you know. So you can save a lot of money with doing it, you know. Once you have your own money, you don't need to do these things. But to save money is very, you know, if you don't have a choice, sometimes you put priorities in your lives first, you know, like making money for your family, or like saving money for something important, traveling. You know, those are the ways you should go with. And yeah, I hope you like so much my video. I thank you so much for watching and subscribing to my channel. I love to see you happy and healthy. Thank you so much. Bye. Kisses. Kisses, princesa. Yes, my princesitas. Say bye.